I'm just playing around, getting it right. Sometimes that's hard if you simply start something and it doesn't work out. But anyhow, welcome to another live stream. And indeed, it's Summer Bass. Yeah, everybody, Happy New Year. I hope you all have a very good year ahead with much music and, of course, health, very good health. And there will be a better year than last year with all these things going on this planet. So let's hope it will be a nice one. And of course, each Thursday we will be here with a live stream. And it has been a busy week already here. We are working very hard on Sublime Bass 2 and its update, which we planned for at the end of January, but most likely it will be somewhere at the start of February. So because I'm still collecting some new range of samples, so and now I'm just playing around here in the music program, and yeah, it's I added also a test lane because that's what I'm doing. Maybe it's nice to show you a bit of what I'm currently doing. So what I'm currently doing is looking for samples, additional samples inside Sublime Bass 2, which we are going to add. So you see here, you see a kick, an EDM kick, and how I tested, because this is going to be loaded into a Sublime Bass 2, but we have a very nice feature here in Cubase, which is called a sample player kind of thing. So you drag and drop a sample and you can play it with your keyboard. So that's already for me a good thing so that I can test it out if it works. So if I, for instance, here, you see I have all kind of things collected. Spring drum big, for instance, is one sample which we are going to use. And I will throw that in now inside. So drag and drop, I throw this in this sample lane. And here we have this sample, here it is, you see. And of course you can hear it's even looped. And what I tried then is if I load this sample, because Sublime Bass is mainly about basses, is if this sample is cool if you play on a lower keyboard range. It really sounds to start very dirty. So this will be a very good thing for really sounds which are for games, music for games or music for film scores, so really weird sounds. So that is one of the samples which I'm going to use. I also let's see, kitchen drawer, the kitchen drawer. I did edit it a little bit, but this is the kitchen drawer which I always hear upstairs. Kitchen drawer. It sounds very nice down here. It's almost like a kind of snare. So that's we are going to use our kitchen number 2. It's more you hear all the rumbling of the metals inside the kitchen drawer. Sleigh bells is very cool. So it's sleigh bells are it's all our own collection of own sampled, and most of them are very dry. So this is a sleigh bells, and I loop it here from this point. For this I always use Wavelab. Wavelab is absolutely fantastic for doing and down here it starts to sound really dirty. So another thing is a spoon, which is a big spoon. And you can hear already that there is possible to play a tune. So all kind of things are, and of course we add also the bell. Maybe it's, I'm not sure. You know, remember this attention plugin we created? So if you want to order coffee in your studio, you pick this attention and you get your coffee or tea. So all kind of things are inside it, even cowbells. I put also cowbell. What we have, maybe some very nice snares. This is lo-fi, but in the lower keyboard range, it can be very interesting as a bass for cool bass. You hear that? It's very nice. This one. Very nice snare. So it's very dirty. So all kind of sounds, and also, so here I see the extra folder. This is the raw material, and then I go, you see here a second selection. These are the tablas which I'm going to add. Here you see one of the tabla sounds which gonna be. So you can play tuned with it. So that's one of the cool things about Sublime Bass 2 is the combination of a synthesizer with subtractive synthesis with a traditional analog type of virtual analog type of oscillators combined with samples which are useful in their tuned way. So you see here that this preset which I is playing is called GB14, which uses the pick bass, which is a sample of a pick bass, and a taiko. Taiko is this Japanese drums. You see, that's the combination, and you still hear a kind of a low square inside of it, and that's because in oscillator 2, when I shut down oscillator 1, you can hear, okay, move it a bit here, that we use a sub-oscillator. So the sub-oscillator also can be used in combination with a sample. Isn't that cool? So this is the taiko, and I add the sub-oscillator. If you go to the right, you have a square waveform. If you go to the left, you have a sinus waveform. So now I go back to the original one here. And that one, I just was playing around in this little beat. And I thought, yeah, it's maybe a bit too dry. So you could add some, let me see, some room, sound, where is it? Reverb. Yeah, so then it gives a bit of roomy sound. Well, it's a very undefined sound, and that's what I like about Sublime Bass 2. It depends on your song or what you're doing, if it's a useful sound, but this is a combination of a bass player, a taiko Japanese player, and a sub-oscillator together. So, yeah, the ARP section is a good question. It's going to be expanded. You see the ugly version of it, because we are going, this is the mock-up. We are working on Sublime Bass 2 with also included different user screen size and the ratcheting mode inside the sequencer, and also some other small improvements we are doing. So it's pretty deep, isn't it? So yeah, so I just was playing around, and so let's see. I also had blue inside of it, just one single thing. A little plucky, a bit boring. I put a delay on it, stereo delay. Some weird things going on now. Not sure what that is. Okay, make him dry again. Yeah, and then I had this sound with BIT, but that's way too low. Listen to this one. If it's solo, it's okay. Yeah, so that's also a nice one, which is not Bluetooth, but is BIT. So more. Let's open it. Wrong. Here it is. And of course, this one doesn't combine with the other one because you only can have one bass in a song. So I need to choose now what to use as bass. This BIT or this other one, which is and that's of course something you also might have in your production flow, that you maybe have two sounds which are a bit too close to a bass, and then you need to make a decision. So okay, let me see. So what I could do here is remove the sub-oscillator, so the low end will be less. You hear that? So it's more a mid sound. Still have the reverb, I like that. Bit more damping. And what I also could use is filter 2 and use there a high pass filter. 12 dB high pass, here it is, to cut away a bit of the low end. Not too much, but then it's more a mid sound. So this could be an option, and then in this case I can use the BIT for the bass. You see, you still hear now two things: the bass of BIT and sub bass more doing a percussion sound. I bet you could tweak a little bit to make it fit, maybe a bit darker with the cutoff frequency. And of course this one is a bit too loud. Somebody is asking about a blue. Yeah, it was just hitting one thing. It's a sequence playing. So if I go here, you see the play mode is an arpeggiator. So you go to the arpeggiator, and here's an arpeggiator. So what I could do is change the tuning a bit. Let's see what that happens. Makes it better, isn't it? So what I had this sound, which is a chord clock. So I can play the original one, and you hear it, it's dry. Okay, I need to solo my microphone also, so it's dry now. This was the original sound, and what I thought it's maybe to add the delay, and then now also I changed a bit the tuning. So I click here to the edit one, and then we hear again the edited one. So I simply added the FXB stereo delay, and it's very hard, very, very loud, because you see the mix is always almost on half, so it's really a lot of volume of the delay, but I made the feedback very little, only 4%. So if I would make it too long, 1 second, here it comes again. You see up here, so that's too long, so I made it 0. Let's make it so it's really doing a kind of alternative notes behind it, because the feedback is 0. It's a bit hard to hit it. So it's the left is 1/4 note and the right side is 1/8 note. You can see it up here. So it's a more rhythmically thing. It became now. So and then combined together. So I'm simply doing a few little things for the fun part. If you the products. And you see the room is a bit too much size. So what also could be an option if because now I use the bass from BIT. Okay. Yeah, somebody says maybe the lick of sub-boom bass also should be played by BIT. Yeah, let's try that. So I'm gonna add track MIDI. Okay, X, and then also then I move this one. A mute. Let's glue it together and then mute it. So I mute it now, and then I do also glue this one because then it's easier for me to copy things. So okay, I take that one. I need to press Alt and then I can move it downwards, and I have the lick that sub-boom bass 2 is playing, also playing by BIT. Only I don't hear the sound. Okay. No, he doesn't want to do that. Okay, maybe I do something wrong, but then we do it simple this way. So now we have the bass. So it's also an option, of course. Yeah, what I also did is Predator spray something. So a little stacky sound. So of course it's not a song, but it's simply to show what you can do by simply picking a preset and playing around with it. So this original sub-boom bass 2 preset, which was essentially bass, became a mid sound. So it's not a bass anymore, but it's more a mid sound. And what I also could try is to copy it one octave higher, which is one of the MIDI. Let me see, MIDI editors. Transpose setup. So here's the transpose 12 semitones. Okay, let's see if that works indeed. It's also cool. Yeah, it's already better. That makes sense. And of course, we could change the melody because it's maybe now a bit too boring. This bing, 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 bing. But it's just as an example how much things can do in terms of making a song if you have a current preset. So the BIT preset, now I copied it over. So that's playing the same bass. Yeah, nice block sound in blue. That could be an option. We have, of course, that one. But I also, what pops up in my mind is RG. Let me see. because that's a long time ago that we used RG. Let me see where we have this little beast. And you see, especially RG is very cool for housey stuff. You need to play it right, so if I record it. Of course, now I let go too early, maybe. What I always do is RG is quantized because that makes the timing a bit easier. So you see here, I copied it, and let's see if that one works nicely. Simply this way, being... jumps, you see, you hear that? It's not really precise, so this one is good, but the second time it starts. Yeah, and that's what you can do. You see, the note is too long with RG. I held the note too long for starting a new bar, so I make it a bit shorter so that I can start here on this 26 bar. So I'll close this one. And what I can do is simply use Alt and copy it over. Yeah, that should do the job. Let's see if it... Yeah, and we could put it a bit to the panning. So yeah, that's cool. You see, let me hit save before we lose something, and then we could add an additional, because maybe it's also cool to have a additional RG, but then a different type of sound. We have the steel string grooves and these. The RG grooves are sounds which use really these synthesis bars. I'm not sure if that one works. Yeah, that one is very cool. Yeah, isn't that cool? Yeah, that one also fits nice together with the other one. So let's see. So I already have two RGs from really simply making a nice groove. So yeah, so you see, we make quite some noise here. And yeah, the thing is with RG, I start now on the first beat, but for the trick, I also could say, okay, move this one just one beat. And then sometimes you run into very interesting things, because normally with RG, you tend to start on the first beat. But if you start on a different beat, it also could be a very interesting groove. So let's see what happens. And of course, you see, it still grooves nicely, but it was better with the first. But you then say, okay, let's move one beat more. And that's also a nice trick with RG, with simply moving the start point. And because it's quantized, I move just one beat. Yeah, it doesn't work out in this one. It was really nicer if it was here as it was before. So yeah, RG, we could set that one a bit to the right. So we have 2 guitar players today loaded. And RG is from one part, it's a what they call a one-trick pony, but it's a very cool groove machine. Very special, and the only thing you need to know, and that's of course in the tutorial, how it works, because he triggered just like an arpeggiator, a sequencer. And if you play in the first octave, it has a major groove. Second octave, it has a minor 7 groove with the electric guitars, and with the other ones you have a minor chord. The muted one is also there in RG. Yeah, we also have the muted one. Now the timing is a bit off. Why is that? I'm not sure. Maybe a move not precise. Okay. It's very, very prominent, this. So this one. In the middle is better. So the bass. And you see so much things have influence if you put off the... If you put off the delay from the bass, it gets a bit more calm. Okay, it loses a bit of timing. I don't know what is causing it, or it could be my ears. So yeah, you see, it's just trying things out. And so even with RG, if you have this groove here, and you think, oh, maybe it's too long, you still can add it. That's the cool thing. So let's edit it. Okay, I'm back, and now gets the guitar. It pops up. So there is a filter envelope, but also an amplifier. And here you also can make... Maybe that fits better. So you can make the decay of the whole sound and the release of the longer. So this is also a lot of influence on the rhythm. So if I go to the bass again, let's... Okay. Punch. So now it's very long. I can make it shorter. cooler, so the shorter decay. Hear that? So this is one preset, and the only thing I change is the decay of the amplifier section. Make it longer. Okay, again. Let's see what the other one does. Here's the other one. And also here you could change maybe the filter a bit different. Let's see, that's a bandpass filter on the steel string guitar. Okay, it stops playing. Also here a bit shorter, and the filter change. Yeah, you see, it has all influence on the rhythm feel as well. So we always have everything playing, so I can put off. So okay. So you see all kind of different sounds pop up. Yeah, it's the typical how much you can do simply by using one preset. So I had no idea what I should do today, so I thought, yeah, okay, let's make some noise, and that's what we are doing, and see how things have influence. Yeah, we had this very dry Predator sound. If it would have reverb, maybe then it would not as nice. So if I would go here and go to and add a reverb. So let's hear the difference without the reverb and with the reverb. These are little things which always count in a mix to give instruments or the whole feel of the song. And you see, by adding the reverb, it loses this directness. The direct sound of it. So if I put that off, you hear, then it's more a thing which makes sense. So yeah, and then yeah, you could all kind. So you see, sometimes putting FX off, it really makes sense. And you hear inside the sub-boom bass, this reverb makes really prominent this sound. So also here you could say. Okay, so let's go to the chat room because I'm fiddling around. It's a very free live stream today, and Moog bass. Yeah, what's I think for Moog bass, essentially you can. It depends how you program the sound. So you could do it with sub-boom bass, you can do it with BRT, you can do it with Predator, too. And even with quad, it's possible. It's more the way you program it. So when you go, for instance, to sub-boom bass, add a track, and pick an extra sub-boom bass too. Let me see. So this is a question in the chat room popping up. So if you go to the manager and you go to bass preset. Okay. I'm looking for the right presets. Give me 1 second. Here you get more the... So how it's programmed, it uses a 24 dB low pass filter type 1, which is a Moog ladder, virtual Moog ladder filter. And you see the Minimoog is behind me. So I have the good example next to me to see if we are on track with Subboom Bass 1. And what is typical with the Minimoog is, of course, it's a dry sound. You see, there's no FX used. And the play mode is legato, so that you also can make these typical Minimoog glides. So these are a few of the basses. So this is reminds me a bit of Kraftwerk. Make it longer. But of course, in the 70s, they also had a delay, so... Yeah, the glide also can done be this one. It goes very down. You see, I use aftertouch for the vibrato. So nice, the resonance. So this is really, I would say this type of sound I would call in the 80s, a bit cheesy, but now it's cool. And you could say, okay, put a phaser behind it, an analog phaser. Yeah, it's so yeah, don't be afraid to fiddle around. So you see, they are very dry. And of course, Subboom Bass have very fast envelopes. And you see, you don't always, not always have necessary need to use FX on a bass. So of course I could play the bass here manually. So I put off the other bass. this one. Very short release. You can make it longer. But it's not only sub-boom bass, but sub-boom bass goes beyond this traditional minimal bass because of the built-in samples on the other synthesis things which are inside of it. The combination. So we had, of course, let me see here. Let me see if I find an example. Yeah, this is another example. Here it uses punish 1. It uses oscillator 1 modulates oscillator 2, and it is phase modulation. So the oscillator 1 doesn't go to the filter, but it modulates oscillator 2, and then you can create these attack sounds. So I could copy it over again. So here you can hear now with the bass. So now this is the bass, and oscillator 1, when I shut it down, so okay, sorry for moving around the screens because I need to solo my microphone as well. So you see here this bass, it uses oscillator 2, but the click is generated by oscillator 1 because it modulates oscillator 2. So I think it's the envelope here is used. Let me see. Let me see which one is used, or is it maybe 2? No. Oh no, it's only direct. The really adds a little click to it. And this is extreme. So here, this is the oscillator 1 modulating oscillator 2. It gives an edge to it, and now by controlling the volume of oscillator 1, you can control it a bit more. Really adds the attack to it. Yeah, so a lot of possibilities. So sub-boom bass 2 goes beyond the, let's say, if you, of course, having a mini-moog is great, but in terms of options, you have far more options in sub-boom bass 2, also because you can save a preset. If you have a nice preset, you can save it, and that's not possible with a mini-moog. If you go to the next sound, the other one is gone. And yeah, and what I mentioned also is the combination with combining it together with, let me see. Okay, that's the wrong one. I'm looking for a preset which uses a sample combined. Sorry guys, I'm looking. Doesn't seem to find it. Maybe it's in this bank, so I'm flying around here to see. No. No, I thought I was also using. So now it's 2. So simply changing the envelope makes so much of a difference. There's also nice bass. Okay, now put everything on solo. So this is the synchrotron bass, and I simply made it shorter, and now it fits. So if you are working with sub boom bass, this is a tip for me for you today, and you go through all the presets and you already played your lick. So this is the lick, but it doesn't sound okay in this with this preset, and most people go to the next preset instead of simply playing around. Because if I play around, if I make this sound, which is a bit too whoop whoop, too long, I can fit the sound to the piece of music. And simply by doing the envelope decay a bit back, maybe a bit more release, and I could change a bit the filter, a bit more envelope. So yeah, it's so you see, a preset is also a great starting point, and so sub boom bass 2, great for minimal basses, but we have of course far more. We could also select here BIT, and let's make a sound with BIT. Okay, here it is. And of course here we have the bank manager, and there we have the basses. So also here we have Moog basses. You have the same thing. You see this one? It's very dark, it's nice. And you see no FX, no chorus, no even not the delay. It's simply dry sound. But now it takes its space. Yeah. So yeah, also this BIT Predator has some good basses. It's mainly because we have a very good engine, so it's more how you tweak the sound to make it suitable for your track. Okay, so let's back to the chat room. I'm a bit messy today because I had not really a theme. I thought, yeah, let's make some noise and see what we can do with it. And yeah, I see somebody post about the book. Yeah, the book is available again, guys, but it's published by an American publisher. There are 3 types. There are a how you call it again? Paperback and a other version. There seems to be 3 versions available, but I'm not sure how it will work out with. Yeah, Amazon has it, but it's only the most expensive. The how they call it again? Sorry for that, guys. I need to check it out myself. I cannot recall it. Book DVD. So if you go here to the homepage, book DVD, I have more news, which is maybe interesting if you don't have Predator and you did buy the book. We have here Predator 4 ES, and what we did is, this is Predator, and it has the introduction bank and it has the presets we use in the booklet. You have no saving feature, but you can play around with the synthesizer. It doesn't emit noise or something, or will stop working after 30 days. It's essentially a full version. Only you cannot save the sound you creating, and of course, autosave you need to put off. And we have it for Mac and PC, and it holds the introduction bank of the original Predator and the presets, which I use in the book. So that's it's not officially in the let's say in the newsletter that I mentioned this, that it is available, because I needed to wait how it went with all the releases of the re-release of the book. And of course I need to adapt the homepage, because now it says book and DVDs, but it's book and 10 hours DVD in the cloud. So you see here, then there is my book and DVDs. So yeah, and you see here, and then you go to Roman and Littlefield, and you see they have far more books from Frank Zappa, Ableton Live books, Cubase books, Logic, you name it. And there are three versions they created: hardback, paperback, and an ebook. I'm not sure if the ebook is already out, and for sure the hardback is already on. How do you call it again? Amazon, yeah, Amazon. And the paperback, I think it's a more affordable version. And here, I'm not sure when it pops up in Europe, but yeah, they are very strong in America. So what the reason why I picked this publisher, because then this book gets more into schools. There are already some schools using it as a textbook for learning to work with subtractive synthesis, but of course, me as a small company, I cannot, don't have the time to contact everybody to have a distribution network to reach the schools, and they do that a lot better. And of course, the book is a absolutely a textbook. It really gives you more knowledge in how to work with subtractive synthesizers, because subtractive synthesizers are the most popular ones. I mean, a Minimoog is one, subtractive, a BIT Predator, a Massive, a Silent, a June, a Nordlead, a Prophet, yeah, you name it, a Korg, a synthesizer. Let's say 99% of all the synthesizers are subtractive synthesis, because it's a very yeah, controllable synthesis. FM synthesis is far more complex, and so if you learn this book, you can work with any subtractive synthesizer, because you know the system behind it. So the first release was with 4 DVDs, but that one was sold out, I think, over 1 year ago. And so now it's by a publisher, which I hope is that far more music schools will use that as a textbook. Picture that once I started with synthesizers in my age, there were no schools. So I had to learn it from the manual from the Korg MS-20 and by trial and error. And the way I teach subtractive is a very good method, because yeah, it gives a basic fundamental understanding of it, how it all works. And so I think, especially if you are new to synthesizers, or maybe even if you are experienced, yeah, there's always something to learn. Currently I'm checking here. What is the difference, hardcover and paper cover? I don't know. They shipping some books to me, so then I will see it. I think it's not luxury as the first one. The first one was really a very expensive production. It has a some glossy stuff, and yeah, the four DVDs are inside of it, and but that one is it's already sold out. So, but it's I think it's investment in your knowledge, and that's far more important. So that you don't go from one preset to another, but that you know from, hey, I need to do this to get my good results in music creation, instead of going from one preset to another. Just what I did today a bit is that you have a preset, but then you try out a few other things, and you run in very happy accidents. And sometimes, yeah, it makes your music more personal instead of going from one preset to another. Okay. So yeah, guys, this was a bit messy today, but I have news for you. Tom did send me a very cool demo song, and his title was Kid Zone because he wanted to show how tight the timing of our plugins is. And of course, it's a demo by Tom Aldrich, so it swings a lot, very funky. So I want to go out with that one from Tom, and Tom, thanks for sending it. Maybe in the chat room you can mention what you used in this demo. So I will play now. It's called Kid Zone by Tom Aldrich. Isn't it cool? I will play it again, second time. It sounds like a game shop, a shop where you can buy games in the middle of Japan. That's what pops up in my mind with this song. I played it once again, and it's very cool. Thank you, Tom. And guys, I hope to see you next week again. Thanks for joining. And if you have ideas for next week, just let me know. And here we go for round 2. And stay safe. Enjoy creating music, guys.